it is a pleasure to present Quincy. Quincy, I've known Quincy for quite some time, and years actually, and he's been such an instrumental person in the development of minorities. And as this has been an initiative, and I have to give thanks to also to CK for initiating this presentation for the Rotary and Diversity and Inclusion. Quincy is the president of COMTO, and I'm very sure you will find it very interesting of what he has to say. So Quincy, with that, I give it to you.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Right. Okay. Let me try to share my screen. Excuse me. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. I don't need you to see all my notes. Well, I wanted, first of all, thanks Savas for introducing me. Savas and I, like he said, go way back, and definitely was excited when he presented an opportunity for me to speak before you all today. I wanted to thank the president, President Chris, our executive director, Scott Brown, who we've talked many times over the internet, and all of the Columbus Rotary members. I also like to just thank my COMTO Columbus members for joining today. I try not to travel alone. They kind of keep me out of trouble, so I asked them to show up to places. But I wanted to, before I get started, I wanted to make a small confession, if you allow me. I had always heard about the Columbus Rotary Club, but I didn't really know what you all did. So, you know, just like my 17-year-old daughter, she said, "Daddy, just Google it." So that's what I did. And I Googled you all, and the first blurb of your history, I learned all I needed to know. First of all, you are one of the oldest and largest in the world, or in the organization. You've sponsored over 14 other Central Ohio Rotary clubs in Central Ohio, and you do more for the Columbus community than most do without fanfare and media. And that's all I needed to know about you all, because that's the desire for our organization here in Columbus. Now, we're a national organization, and we're actually celebrating 50 years this year, the national organization. Oh, you also learned that I just like to talk. I had to remember to change the slides, so bear with me. But we actually are celebrating 50 years this year of moving the nation and providing opportunities for minorities in transportation and industry. What we believe that diversity moves the nation. We believe that the leadership of a massive industry that has the responsibility of transporting all people all the time should reflect the complex mosaic of those they serve. We believe that commitment to inclusion across race, gender, age, religion, identity, and experience moves us forward every day. In 2019, it was reported that there were over 3.1 million minorities working in the transportation industry. That includes from entry-level positions all the way to the C-suite. So the mission of the Conference of Minority Transportation Officials, or COMTO, which I will start calling it now, it's a mouthful, we ensure opportunities and maximum participation in the transportation industry for minority individuals, veterans, people with disabilities, and certified small and minority-owned businesses. And we advocate for minorities in the transportation industry and the communities we serve. So our COMTO National started back in 1971 at Howard University. It started to provide a forum for minority professionals in the transportation industry. The first conference, which is a conference that we've put on every year, started with a number of 77 participants. The meetings culminate after the first meeting. The original name of the organization was the Urban Mass Transit Administration. But at that first meeting, they changed the name to the Conference of Minority Transportation Officials. It was led and organized by Reverend Jerry Moore, Harold B. Williams, and Carmen Turner. By 1978, COMTO had grown to 6 regional chapters, and by 1985, 23 chapters. In 1992, the first national office of COMTO opened in Washington, D.C. Today, we have over 34 chapters across the country, and we just opened a chapter in Toronto, Canada.
I appreciate the work you do for us.
Thank you. So now we are an international organization, and we stick our chest out when we say it. We're an international organization, but we with 34 chapters currently, and we actually are working on developing another 12 just this year. And just the other day, we had a meeting, our chapter development committee. We had a meeting, and we were just told that there was a chapter in London, England, that wants to start a COMTO chapter. And so we all had our hands up, because like, who's going to be the first to fly over to COMTO? Because, you know, we have to do in person. We can't just do that virtually. But we're excited about the growth of COMTO and where we're headed. And we're definitely excited about everything, what we do for the minority community. As we said, our first national headquarters is in Alexandria, Virginia. So how do we work? Like I said, we have a national organization located in Alexandria, Virginia, and we have 34 chapters across the country. And all of our chapters have 4 tenets. We advocate, we educate, we collaborate, and we innovate. We advocate on the national level. We have a very close relationship with the Black Caucus, the BCF, or the Congressional Black Caucus. And we also meet with any key congressional people in the Transportation Committee and subcommittee leaders. We do that on an ongoing basis. And then once a year, we have an annual event called View from the Hill, where all of the chapter presidents meet in Washington, D.C., and we go over to Congress and we meet with congressional leaders to talk about transportation matters. Education, we believe in education. One of the things that we do, professional development, we go into our schools, we educate our youth, and we're always trying to think of new internships or workshops or webinars that we can do to increase the education levels of our members so that they can advance themselves in the transportation industry. Collaborate. We coordinate and collaborate just like we do today when we meet with great organizations like yourself, that we can work together in our communities to build those communities, especially in the transportation field. We work with small business organizations. We work with all types of organizations, YWCA, and we hope to one day, we hope to work with you all also. And of course, innovation. As you can imagine, innovation is always taking place in advancements in technology in the transportation industry. And we find it our duty to make sure that we stay on top of those things so that we can continue to build our clientele, build our membership and our education so that we can stay on top of all the new advances in the industry. These are just some of the national events and programs that COMTO National does. Like I said, we have a national training conference that we put on every year. 2 years ago, we were in Central Florida. We love going down to Florida during the summertime. And we were supposed to be in Florida again last year, but of course, COVID cancel that. So we were supposed to go to Florida this year, but it looks like we're not going to have it again this year. But we travel to some nice places for a week, and we have training workshops, and we do symposiums, and we have the ability to earn continuing education credits. And we just learned the latest and greatest things going on in transportation, and for minority businesses to meet with agencies and different departments of transportation across the country. One of the other great events that the national organization does is the Celebrating Women Who Move the Nation. Celebrating Women Who Move the Nation is an annual breakfast that the organization puts on that identifies the outstanding contributions of women who are leading and advancing America's transportation industry. And COMTO Columbus, the chapter here, has over the last 3 years, has actually 3 women out of our organization, our local chapter, have been identified on the national level. So we're very proud of that. And as I spoke earlier of the View from the Hill, where all of our members get together and we meet with congressional representatives about transportation. The other national programs that we do is we do a Congressional Black Caucus Foundation Transportation Brain Trust, where we come together with the Congressional Black Caucus and other businesses and government agencies to talk about transportation and all the different matters and that goes on within that industry. We have a national city internship program. We talk about education, we talk about, but we also talk about internships, where we ask agencies and we ask agencies and corporations across the country to be a host of a student who is interested in some type of transportation field, usually around STEM also. And then lastly, the National Scholarship Program, which is a program that the national organization does, where they give over $100,000 a year away on the national level. And we also have a scholarship program on the local level. These are just some of the committees that we have on our national level, and some of those same committees we have locally. We have an accessibility council, which actually was started probably about 3 or 4 years ago, that talks about accessibility needs for transportation, especially Title VI and those different matters. The City Internship Committee, our Emerging Leaders Committee, the HUB, or Historically Utilized Business Subcommittee, the Industry Wars Committee, our Legislative Advisory Council. That's where that council works on all legislation that our organization has put together. We put together a plan that we present to Congress that we support each year. Of course, the National Meeting and Training Conference, our National Scholarship Program, our Strategic Planning Committee, and Women Who Move the Nation. Some of the committees that we're looking to start are our Highways Committee, our Automotive and Logistics Committee, Technology Transportation Committee, and our Ports and Marine Committee. So I talked a lot about the national organization, but if you talk to anyone on the national level, they would always say that the nationals could not do it without its chapters. And you all happen to be listening or today with one of the major chapters in the organization, COMTO Columbus. Let me introduce you. So we are COMTO Columbus. As you can see, myself, the president, Quincy Howard, my first vice president, Mark Jones, my second vice president, Andrea Quincent, my secretary, Marlise Wicker, and my I should know the money person, my treasurer, Valerie Crossman. So COMTO Columbus has actually been recognized twice consecutively, 2018 and 19, as Chapter of the Year by the national organization. Then that each year, the chapter, the national organization at the National Training Conference, they ask for submissions from all entities or all chapters to submit their body of work that they've done for the year. And in 2018, we won Chapter of the Year. And then we came back the next year and we won again. Now, I'm not one to brag, but you could ask anyone in our chapter. 2020, we knew we were going to win Chapter of the Year again. And everybody, we were looking forward to it. And then they canceled the conference. So we have to wait for that one. But like I said at the beginning of my presentation, I could tell when I was read you all's bio and history that we were in good hands. You all are the same way. So we've awarded over 65,000 in scholarships to deserving young people who decided to pursue a career in transportation or a STEM field. We also volunteered over 1,000 hours in the community, giving back to those who society has ignored or our next generation of kids who have a bright future ahead of them. These are some of the programs that we're actually planning for right now. First of all, we have a scholarship program that's happening right now, and our scholarship chair is actually on the call today. But we're trying to get out we're trying to get the word out to as many individuals as possible that if they're looking for some money to go to school, we have some. So we'll let you all know too. If you know any students who are interested in the transportation field and live in the Central Ohio area, please feel free to go to our COMTOcolumbus.org/scholarship. We also have a lot of golfers in our organization. And I knew today, as I was looking across the screen at all, I said, oh, there's some golfers in this group right here. So this is one of our major fundraisers for the year. And we've been calling it Golf for Education for the past 6 years. And this year, we're actually having it on May 17th at the Lakes Golf and Country Club. So we're, every time I say the Lakes Golf and Country Club to golfers, they get excited, like, where do I sign up? Now, this will be my first time golfing there also, but I'm definitely excited about the experience. So if anyone is interested in that, we'll definitely get you that information over too. And it's an easy website, golf4education.com. If you're interested in coming out, please feel free to sign up. And then lastly, each year, once we have gotten scholarships, we award those scholarships, we have a scholarship luncheon. This is the second year that we've had to do it virtually, but each year we bring the students who have won those scholarships on, plus we honor a couple of notable figures in the area. And this year, we actually have Dr. Frederick Bertley, who will be our keynote speaker. Our Community Service Award recipient will go to honor Council Member Shayla Favor. And then we have a Trailblazer Award who will go to Scott Lamore from the Honda Motor Company. So we'll make sure that you all get that information also. These are just some of the how to get connected nationally at info@COMTOnational.org or our website, www.comto.org. But more importantly, how to get connected with us locally. You can email us at info@COMTOcolumbus.org, or you can go to our website at www.comtocolumbus.org. We put on a quarterly newsletter each year. Each year we put out a quarterly newsletter, and our recent quarterly newsletter just came out, and this is actually the front page of it. So we can definitely get that to you all too. We're excited about it. Our marketing committee chair is actually on the phone today, on the call today, who had put this together, and we're really excited how it came out. And we're excited about the website. We recently redid our website, and we're so excited about how it looks. And so if you get a chance to get out there and check out www.comtocolumbus.org, please do. I think you'll be impressed. And that is it for me. Thank you so much.
Hey, you're welcome, Quincy. Looks like I've got a few questions in the chat for you, and then we'll open it up and see what else we have. But first question was Ken Ackerman, and he's asking or making a comment. There's a desperate shortage of CDL truck drivers. What is your group doing about that to help fill that gap?
It's interesting you say that. One of our members actually has a CDL training school. And so we definitely, we are able to push people towards him and his company. And so we can definitely get that information out to you all if you need it.
All right. Scott Whitlock asks, what are the biggest issues in transportation today?
Money. As you all are aware, here recently, Governor DeWine was trying to cut our budget, cut the transportation budget down to almost nothing. But but on the federal level, they increased it a little bit. So we're always looking to make sure that our infrastructure. We all know, we always hear about the infrastructure and how it is failing, and it's the worst in the nation. So just the infrastructure, being able to update and keep that updated. And as you update the infrastructure, that's creating more opportunities for businesses. And as you create more opportunities for businesses, of course, that's creating more opportunities for minority businesses and small businesses. So, yeah.
Okay. Bill Wayhop says, how do you see autonomous vehicles changing the industry over the next 5 to 10 years?
Ooh, autonomous vehicles. As you know, Columbus was the recipient of the Smart Columbus, where they brought in the autonomous vehicles, and I think all of that was going in a good direction until, of course, COVID hit. So there are a lot of different plans that I know that are happening here. We actually have the Ohio Department of Transportation is one of our members, and one of the executive director of Drive Ohio, Howard Wood, he's actually doing a presentation to our general body next month. And so that may be something that, your members may be interested in attending and listening and asking those questions, because I'm sure he knows more than me.
Fair enough. So has COMTO Columbus worked with Columbus Public Schools? Have you guys had any opportunity to work with the Columbus Public Schools?
It's interesting you say that. I was actually contacted by Columbus Public School, or representative from Columbus Public Schools today. And we have been in talks over the years to see how that we can work together. But it's definitely, any transportation, be it cabs or school systems or Franklin County, or anything that has four wheels, we're trying to build a relationship and collaboration with. So absolutely, if you have a contact with Columbus Public Schools that may be interested in our organization, we would love to talk to them.
Okay, great. We'll probably have Rick Studer reach out to you or somebody from one of those committees. So I think there may be some opportunities. Let's see, are there opportunities? Terry Davis asked, are there opportunities for additional funding for COMTO in the recently passed stimulus legislation? So I know there were dollars that were set aside for some transportation on the federal level. Is that gonna, I don't know if that's what he's asking, if dollars gonna flow down through that or not?
I'm not sure. Our treasurer, she is also a part-time grants person, so I'm always having her ask if she could check into any additional money, since we are a nonprofit 501c3. If there's monies that can help our cause here in the Columbus, Ohio area, definitely we would love to know about it.
So Dave Pritchard says, as a retired engineer, I try to recruit graduating high school students into engineering careers, including, of course, minority students. It has been difficult to get interest, especially minority students. If they do pick STEM studies, it is IT rather than applied engineering, design, or management. Any suggestions on how to improve our recruiting process or how to make us more successful with the minority community, basically?
That sounds like a separate conversation.
Okay, fair enough.
Absolutely,
Take
absolutely.
that on the side.
Yeah.
So he says, John Martin says, I know a young man that wants to attend an automotive repair college but lacks the funds. What amount is your average scholarship?
This year, the minimum is $1,000.
Okay.
But you know, every little bit helps. I have one get ready to go to college, so every little bit helps. But yeah, our minimum is $1,000. So I would encourage him if he, you know, to look at our scholarship.
Okay.
It's something that he would like to know more about.
Very good. Then Mark Lamont asks or makes a comment: highway and airport segment of construction industry needs future leaders entering the field. These people often come from civil engineering program. Do you have any collaboration programs with the local universities? Again, back to this recruiting and getting people into the field and getting interest into the transportation industry.
Yeah, we actually have we have worked with Ohio State over the years. But it changes. COVID did a lot to us, but working with Ohio State and their industry, not their engineering program, we used to have the OSU Engineering Black Engineers Club or something that they have over there that we used to work closely with. So plus NSBE, the National Society of Black Engineers. We work with them also. And there's a couple of different organizations that we work over at Ohio State with. But again, well, I always tell people, if you know of more people that we can talk to, definitely we'll reach out to them. And I can put my email in the chat box.
Yeah, that'd be great. I think that'd be great.
Are there stories about the Coleman train operators? Isn't that how you guys got your start? How they organized Coleman train operaters?
No.
How did you guys get your start?
We were started at Howard University. The minority professionals in transit, actually, it was in transportation, in transit specifically, that would come together trying to figure out how that they could build up or become more, move up in their specific agencies. And so that stemmed into a conference that they would come together and talk about different matters or build up different education or what have you. And then over the years, that actually turned into the Conference of Minority Transportation Officials. And it started from a conference of minority professionals in transit that started this organization.
Very good. All right, any other questions for Quincy before we let him go today? All right, well, Quincy, I think you did your job. I think you answered the questions, and we greatly appreciate you and your team and board members being here. And we look forward to potentially working together here in the Columbus community, continue to do good.
Thank you so much. Thank you all for having me, and I look forward to seeing you all again, hopefully on the golf course.
There we go.
There we go.
Thanks, Quincy.
All right, thank you.
Well, everybody have a great week.